Half-Life. A game series close to the hearts of many, and for good reason. A masterpiece on gameplay and on story. There is a good reason for why, when people mention Half-Life, all you get is warm and positive response. Today, we aren't here to talk about the gameplay, or Laidlaw stories. No. Today, we are here to talk about Kelly Bailey's role in Half-Life. I remember when I first played Half-Life. It was the first Half-Life game I had ever played. After playing a short Half-Life 2 Episode 2 demo, and the Orange Box demo on the Xbox 360, I looked to where I could play where it all started. PC was what I found. I had no experience with PCs, so I convinced my family to buy a gaming PC, of which I still use today. After buying Half-Life, I booted it up, and I was greeted with polygon graphics and compressed audio. It looked awful in comparison to modern games, but I didn't care. I sat down and played it for a few hours, and after encountering the first boss, and getting my ass handed to me, I put the game down, and I didn't come back for a few more years. One of the things I remember about Half-Life was the soundtrack. One of the best I've ever heard. A song I remember strongly was called Military Precision, and apparently others did too. A man named Accursed Farms created a series called Freeman's Mind, where the song was used as a theme. The song so perfectly gives you the feeling of fighting back against 1,000-strong might. An industrial labor force, working and doing as they were told. Nuclear Mission Jam. This is another song that is used for a lot. It starts with a cold, frightening feel, then it turns into an energetic fight music. This is the kind of music that's perfect for a cutscene. In fact, a YouTuber named The Winglet used this song in a SFM animation where it worked perfectly. This song is used in Chapter 11, Questionable Ethics. Jungle Drums, used in Chapter 16, Gonok's Lair. It's used as a boss fight theme. You're fighting the final form of an iconic Half-Life enemy, the Headcrab. The Gonok itself comes from a meeting where, according to Gabe Newell, this was said: "Why don't we put a giant testicle on a 20-foot tall armored spider?" And thus, the Gonarch is born. The theme fits the frantic nature of the fight. New head crowds being birthed from the Gonarch every second. A truly frantic fight with a frantic song to fit. Off the bat, I can't give you my story of these add-ons. I never owned them, and I don't plan on ever doing so. In Half-Life Opposing Force, you play as Adrian Shepard, a soldier in the US military, sent to Black Mesa during the Black Mesa incident in order to clean up the site. It should also be noted that Kelly Bailey didn't compose the soundtrack for this game. Instead, Chris Jensen did, whose other work involves Counter-Strike Condition Zero's soundtrack. Planet. Where do I start? This song is weird. It's used in the credits. It's after Shepard follows Gordon's example and joins G-Man, and is immediately put into stasis. So this music is weird, and I can't say why it fits with its environment, because there is no environment. But it is pretty good. Alien Forces. This song is used on the way down to the Gene Worm, the final boss of Opposing Force. The song, in my opinion, gives off a vibe of "this is it. All your work comes to a head now." The Gene Worm's one job is to reform the entire planet to suit the needs of Race X. So, the world as we know it is coming to an end. And this song conveys that perfectly. An interesting tidbit I found while I was looking around for information about the soundtrack is apparently Blue Shift didn't have its own soundtrack, as the game just reused Opposing Force's soundtrack. But when it was re-released on Steam, it just used Half-Life's soundtrack.
So wake up, Mr. Freeman. Wake up and smell the ashes.
Anyone who's ever heard Half-Life mentioned has probably heard of Half-Life 2. We brought so many innovations with it. We got the idea of applying rigging techniques previously only used in films and video games. Physics engines were introduced with a bang, and dynamic lighting was brought to the masses. In my opinion, Kelly was at his best when making the soundtrack for Half-Life 2. There is much to say, and it's hard not getting caught up on the visuals. This game flawlessly conveyed a sense of atmosphere I haven't felt since I played Portal 2, another game using the Source engine. Brane Scan is an interesting song. It's one of those game songs that aren't used in combat, but rather in cutscenes. It also has the potential to be used in so many different settings outside of the Half-Life universe. This song is perfect in that sense. Hopefully, you have played Half-Life 2, and if you have, one of the most memorable locations was Ravenholm, a zombie-infested town littered with props and objects, to the point where it's possible to finish the Ravenholm chapter without even firing a bullet. Most of Half-Life 2 is spent at midday, But when you get to Ravenholm, it's night, with fog rolling in and the screams of zombified people in the distance. Ravenholm's music is more creepy than any other location in the game. Since the Ravenholm chapter is mostly spent with ambience, there is really no song to talk about or discuss. If you were to have a dictionary that had a section on the definition of a badass theme, CP Violation would somehow be present in some form. The song gives you a real feel for how the Combine fight, and has the perfect tone of energy. The song is originally used when dodging razor trains and fighting the Combine in Chapter 3, Root Canal. Dark Energy. This is one amazing theme. Truly gives you an idea of a red alert kind of situation. This, however, is not what it's used for. Instead, it's used for when Gordon is leaving Shore Point Base in the scout car. What a missed opportunity! Oh, also it's used for the ending credits. Why wasn't it used in the Citadel? I hope you people can understand that this is not acting. This is pure, unfiltered, autistic anger. But no, seriously, why wasn't it used in the Citadel? Anomalous materials. Truly a great work of symphony. I'm having a hard time thinking of a way to describe it, so it might just be better for me to let you listen to it. Inbound Part 2. Well, this song is just... it sure is. It tries creepy and does it well. I feel like I'm in an Arctic environment where the wind is blowing, but unfortunately, there isn't any situation like that in Black Mesa. So I feel, bit annoyed. office complex. Sounds like something straight out of a horror movie, laced with cocaine. I'm not entirely sure how to describe the feel it gives off. What I can say for sure is try to listen to this in bed at 1 a.m. You probably won't try it, but I have. On a Rail, Part 1. This is really good. Like Anomalous materials, I'm just gonna let you listen to it. It's okay, I guess. Track music. Pretty good song. It's pretty nice. It's energetic. It's a keeper. Critical time remaining. This is really good. Energetic, and it fits the theme of critical time. I really like it. Lost Coast was a cut section from the original Half-Life 2. It was supposed to take place after the Highway 17 chapter and before the Sand Traps chapter. It was later released in 2005 as a tech demo to show off the Source Engine's HDR rendering capabilities. Since it's not a full-fledged game and rather a cut chapter from Half-Life 2, it only had one song, which was later reused in Half-Life 2, Episode 2. Dark Interval is the one I'm talking about. It's creepy. I don't really like it.
Don't tick me off, Gordon. Hey, stop that!
Fan project. Couldn't find much of its soundtrack online, but from what I heard, it reminds me of 2D games. And this game is a 2D game. So I guess they got what they set out to do with the soundtrack.
I hear something. I hear something. I have a bad feeling about this.
Fan project again. A lot of people really hate this game. The game isn't good. Not at all. It's actually really bad. And soundtrack is decent. Nova Prospect 1 is really good. It reminds me of a royal menace. Hey look, it's Hunt Down the Freeman. It's trending to hate this game, right? Right? Don't want to give this thing any more attention than it deserves. Pain of the Seeker is decent. I don't like the rest of the soundtrack, however, as there really is none. It's mainly just ambience throughout the entire game.
We'll see about that.
Tell me, Dr. Freeman, if you can. You have destroyed so much. What is it exactly that you have created? Can you name even one thing? I thought not.
Half-Life 2, Episode 1, also known as Half-Life 3, Episode 1. This game is part of an episodic trilogy that has not been completed to this day. Disrupted original. Sounds like a disrupted radio signal. There's quite a bit of radio interference. It's played after Gordon and Alex meet their first Zombine, a zombified Combine unit. The Combine are infamous for their radio chatter while fighting, and the Zombine still chats on the radio, but it's just gibberish. There are many other theories about the chatter, but in my opinion, the song fits in the atmosphere the mappers were trying to create. Self-Destruct, another Zombine-driven song. This song plays while waiting for the elevator in the low-life section. It's energetic and upbeat with interference-sounding noises. It's a great song for running around and fighting, not waiting for a lift.
An ultimatum.
Song that plays while fighting the giant three-legged menace, the Strider. The song plays during the Exit 17 chapter. I love this song so much, though I'm not going to describe this song, since I encourage other people to speak their minds. I have let him describe his feelings, and then I'm going to let a text-to-speech bot read it.
This song gives me the impressions of an early 2000s sci-fi shooter, which fits quite appropriately. The lone doom open a metal door to a dark mechanical atmosphere eventually explode into the classical riffs, drum beats, and rhythm that are often attributed to Half-Life. So in my opinion, an ultimatum is a wonderful mix of metallic clanging and instrumental suspense.
Half-Life 2, Episode 2. So much crazy stuff happens in this game. It's ridiculous, and I love it. It takes you out of the desolate city feel the previous two games had and brings you to an East European alpine setting, and the music changes with it. Vortal Combat, played when defending the rebel base from an ant-line attack. This song plays in the final wave, when the Vortigons join you in your defense. This song doesn't really hit a defending vibe with me, However, it is still a kick-ass song. Hunting Party. This plays during a hunter ambush in the Riding Shotgun chapter. Hunters are rather dangerous creatures, and are a part of the Combine's synth arsenal. And this is similar to all the rest of the Combine songs. I love it just the same as all the others. Last Legs. This song plays during the second wave at White Forest. Instead of an antline invasion, this is a Combine assault. The Overwatch soldiers and hunters pouring in from every door, and the music reflects the metallic industrial feel of the Combine. And it is rather frantic. I love this song so much.
Here's my review of the sound that goes from Half-Life 1. You know, that laser sound really brings down the beat. I like the part where it goes when the baby goes and then God goes Clay, and then you know, I like that part. He also told me to sing a song. So I'm gonna sing you one of my favorite songs from a musical called Alexander Hamilton. Okay, are you guys ready? I don't know how to play piano. It's me, Alexander Hamilton. Alexander Hamilton. Places I've never been to. New York. Be a new man. Congratulations. You made a new kind of stupid. Let out animals out of the zoo kind of stupid. A cheeseburger fell on the floor kind of stupid. A man without hands kind of stupid. Alexander Hamilton. I'm Alexander Hamilton. Not too late. Not too late. How does the orph Scott? I don't remember. Here you go. That's your outro. Have fun with that.